Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Tuesday, November 16, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Golden State Warriors vs Brooklyn Nets. The Warriors are coming off a loss to the Hornets, where Steph had one of his worst games from the three-point line. He shot just 3-13, which for a career 43.3% three-point shooter is very rare. Wiggins poured in 28 PTS on 12-19 shooting, but there wasn't much help from anyone else. Poole and Green got to double digits, but 102 points in this league isn't going to get too many wins. The offense will be tested again in this one, as the Nets rank first in the league at home in terms of opponents' FG%. Speaking of Harden, yes, he has struggled with the officiating. However, you have to believe it is just a matter of time before he makes the proper adjustments and becomes more fluent in his offensive game. And that is a scary thought for the rest of the Eastern Conference. The best story amongst the Nets players has to be the return of LaMarcus Aldridge. After sitting out and retiring last season due to heart issues, he has come back and provided solid leadership and play. While the numbers are a far cry from his prime, Aldridge is still a consistent double-double threat. Our first betting advice is to pick Brooklyn Nets. The Nets enter this game 15th in the league in scoring offense, as they average 108.5 points per game on the year. Brooklyn is 23rd in the league in rebounding with 44.7 boards per contest and 5th in assists by dishing out 25.1 dimes a night. The Nets are 6th in the league in scoring defense by allowing 103.5 points per contest. Kevin Durant leads the team with 29.6 points plus 8.4 rebounds and 5.1 assists per game. James Harden contributes 19.5 points, 7.6 rebounds and 9.3 assists a night, while Patty Mills kicks in 10.4 points per contest. LaMarcus Aldridge, 12.8 points, and Joe Harris, 11.3 points, each are solid scoring options as well. The Nets look to get production from Nick Claxton, Blake Griffin, Paul Millsap, Bruce Brown, Jevon Carter and James Johnson. Kyrie Irving remains out as he has chosen to remain unvaccinated, meaning he can't play in Nets home games. Since the team has decided not to accommodate him as a part-time player, he's out until he chooses to get vaccinated. Brooklyn is 4th in the league in field goal percentage, as they shoot 47% from the field as a team on the year. The Nets are 5th in the league in three-point field goals per game, as they drain 13.9 triples per game, while they stand first in three-point field goal percentage by hitting 39.3% from beyond the arc. Our second betting advice is to pick under 220. Philadelphia 76ers vs Utah Jazz. Philadelphia is averaging 109.9 points per game. They scored 113 points in their last game, making 42.7% of their field goals and 52.2% of their three-pointers. Tobias Harris led the way for Philadelphia with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. Therese Maxey finished with 24 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Danny Green added 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. Philadelphia is giving up 105.7 points per game. They gave up 118 points in their last game and will need to play better if they want to win this game. Utah is averaging 110.2 points per game. They scored 105 points in their last game, making 41.2% of their field goals and 32.1% of their three-pointers. Bojan Bogdanovic led the way for Utah with 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jordan Clarkson finished with 25 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, while Donovan Mitchell added 22 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 steals. Utah is one of the best defensive teams in the league, giving up 103.5 points per game. They gave up 111 points in their last game and will need a better performance if they want to get the win. Our first betting advice is to pick Utah Jazz, -10. The Sixers are allowing 35% shooting from three-pointer on defense. While Utah is struggling percentage-wise, 32.1 from long distance, their shooters are still letting it fly from beyond the arc. It's their identity whether the shots are falling or not. However, there's no better time for those shots to start falling than against a Sixers team that can't stop running water. But the Jazz need to be better defensively to get back on track. The ability to lock things down on that end of the floor is the heart and soul of the team. What better time of regaining their defensive confidence than a meeting with the shorthanded Sixers? Our second betting advice is to pick under 217. Quick reminder, BetUS is a platform that offers betting on all major sport and horse racing leagues. It has slots, table games, blackjack, and a variety of other casino games. All of the major US leagues are available for betting, including the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and PGA. In addition, BetUS allows wagers on esports, Olympic events, soccer, cricket, boxing, cycling, and many more competitions. Join BetUS now using our link down below and get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on the sportsbook after you open an account and deposit using our link and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES. San Antonio Spurs vs Los Angeles Clippers. The Spurs are 10th in the NBA in scoring with an average of 109.6 points per game, shooting 46.8% overall and 36.5% from long range, which are 6th and 5th respectively in the NBA. Murray is the leading scorer for San Antonio with an average of 18.4 points per game, and Keldon Johnson is second with an average of 16.1 points per game. Murray is the dish leader for San Antonio with an average of 8.0 assists per game. The Spurs average 28.5 assists and 12.8 turnovers per game for an assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.2. The Clippers are scoring an average of 108.5 points per game, which is 14th in the league, and shoot 44.9% overall, which is 16th. George is the leading scorer with an average of 26.5 points per game, and the Clippers guard is shooting 44.9% overall and 35.7% from three-point territory. George is also the dishmaster with a team best of 5.2 assists per game. Reggie Jackson is the second leading scorer with an average of 17.8 points per game. The Clippers are averaging 23.8 of 6 and 13.8 turnovers per game for an assist-to-turnover ratio of 1.7. Our first betting advice is to pick Los Angeles Clippers, -6.5. Even without Kawhi Leonard on the floor, the Clippers still have the 5th best scoring defense in the league. They have the potential to make things really difficult for the visiting Spurs. Granted, they have no other choice but to let their defense do the talking, considering how lackluster things have been on the offensive end of the floor. Paul George has been sensational, and Reggie Jackson is still doing whatever he can do to aid in a secondary effort. But it's always a toss-up of a lack of consistency outside of those two players. Center Jacob Poeltl could certainly help them on the offensive end of the floor, but he has already been ruled out for Tuesday's game. So it'll once again fall on the shoulders of Dejounte Murray and Keldon Johnson to carry the load for a Spurs team that will surely be outmatched by the Clippers, at least on paper, anyways. The Clippers are playing excellent defense right now, with opponents only averaging 42.5% shooting against them. They might not have that elite level offense without Kawhi Leonard on the floor, but the team is still a problem defensively. Our second betting advice is to pick over 219.